I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Summer House After Show. We're looking at Season 4, Episode 5, Hampton's Vice. I am your girl, Trina Dong, and wow, do we have a lot to cover tonight. Lots of relationship stuff, lots of new Jordan stuff to talk about, and we're just gonna go straight through and talk about all the relationships, and we've got some fun engagement news for you guys. You'll have to wait to the end for that, and a fun little segment about who's crazier than who, and then we'll end it off with some predictions for what's going to happen next week and maybe the rest of the season. But let us get started. So this episode started with the conversation we've been waiting for the entire season between Kyle and Amanda. So the whole season, they have hated each other. They want nothing to do with each other, but the episode last week ended on them having a dinner together where they still hated each other, but then we popped this episode open with them having a deep conversation about stress and anxiety. So Amanda decides to tell him, right, that she is just under a lot of pressure. She doesn't want to sit and try to impress him all the time, and she's just tired. And I was really impressed that she finally just spit out what was wrong. She's been hiding herself in bathrooms, in other people's rooms, on different sides of the pool, just to not have to tell him what was going on. And we didn't really expect what he was going to say as her partner either, because he's not known to say the best things. But he did end up saying, I just want to be there for you. I want us to be back where we are, have fun. And they had a coming of their relationship age moment, and they were on the same page for once. And it was really nice because we went into the episode right away. We got to the house and they pulled out their mullets for the Miami Vice party. They bonded over mullets. Josh, have you ever bonded over a mullet before?
I mean, there's always a fresh time to start, right? I mean, I got to get a mullet now. Like, if that's a way to get friends nowadays, especially if you're trying to get with, like, you know, trying to get more dude friends out there, trying to get the bros.
Yeah.
I think I got to have a mullet party. I think I got to grow out my hair now. I don't know.
I think it will work, especially with those shades that you're rocking. The mullet might be the thing that you're missing.
Listen, this facial hair, the sunglasses, I'm missing the mullet. I'm like 2/3 of the way there. I'm not official bro yet, but when I do get the mullet, I'll be bro.
I think you're well on your way to Brosville. So let's all look forward to also Josh getting a mullet along with Amanda and Kyle. But it was crazy because the whole episode, they just got along. They had fun. They slept in the same bed. And I was not expecting it at all. But I want to hear what you guys were expecting. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to our show and all of the after shows on our network. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment below. What did you think the standout moment of the episode was? Were you as shocked as I when Kyle and Amanda were actually getting along and they no longer maybe hate each other? And comment on all of the relationships too, because let's face it, that's what we're filled with right now. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. And yeah, keep talking to us. So let's move on to Jordan. Jordan came back in the house, and I was dreading this from last season. I didn't know he was going to come back. All this man does is lie, make up stories, make up his feelings. He just embellishes constantly to the point where all of his housemates don't know what the truth is at all. Josh, you have any friends like that? You have any embellisher friends? Are you the embellisher friend?
I am not the embellisher friend, but I do have some friends that embellish, and they're just like, I can't hang with them. Literally, if I'm in a room with them or anything like that, it's just like, I know how their vibes are and everything like that, so I'm just like, nope, no way. I'm just like, hey, how you doing? And I'll just head on to the other room. No, thank you.
I totally agree with you. That's exactly how I would be, but the housemates do not agree with us. They listen to what he's saying, they take it into account, and then they know to ask the other party what's going on. So we find out that Jordan hooked up with Jules before the season started. But everybody has a mixed story of what happened after the hookup, and we don't even know if it was a full hookup or not, which is maybe the most confusing part of the entire thing. But we have this story where they both claim that the other ghosted the other, which does not make any sense. You would know if you were ghosted. You would know if you did the ghosting.
That's just one of life's greatest mysteries right there. Just like the Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot, when you say who ghosted who, that's one of life's biggest mysteries right there. Who did it? Who knows?
Have you been doing ghosting, Josh? Is that why you know so much about this?
That's why I'm wearing my ghosting shades right now. This is the ghost profile right here. This is incognito mode. You know how Google Chrome has its regular mode incognito? This is incognito
That's that mode
right there. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I'll expect to get fully ghosted by Josh shortly after this episode. But that's crazy to not know who's ghosting you. But they reconcile and they basically both admit that they don't know what's going on and that they just want to be loved and that they're going to hang out. I think everybody gave up pretty quickly in this scenario. They just let the other person win for the lack of entertainment in their own lives, which is fine. We've all been there. We've been bored and we say, you know what? Who cares? Let's just get it moving. So they continue to have their relationship within the show and they're having fun, but they end up hooking up and it doesn't go smoothly. And Jules is telling the girls that it didn't go smoothly. Jordan's telling the guys, I'd prefer to keep it, to ourselves. Josh, is that something that guys do? You guys don't like talking to each other about happenings, or do you only do that if you have something to hide?
If you got something to hide, then that's never a good thing right there. Normally with the group of guys that I hang out with, they love talking about what their quote-unquote trophies are. And that's unfortunate because I don't roll that way, but they do. But then sometimes, usually they tell all the gruesome details about all their hookups and everything, even including the one-night stands. And if they're hiding something, that means something either embarrassing happened on their end or just something just out of the ordinary. Who knows?
So you think that when a guy perhaps isn't wanting to share the whole story that he's got something to hide, right?
Very much so. Maybe something a little bit premature happened, if you catch my drift, or something else out of the ordinary, maybe an ex coming through and just breaking through the door, something crazy shenanigans happens. Who knows?
That's exactly what happened. And so he doesn't want the boys to be disappointed. He doesn't want, but he didn't really care if Jules was disappointed, though, which is bad news. It's a bad way to go, to care more about what your guys think than what the girl actually had to physically go through.
That's the stigma of society nowadays. Guys care about what guys say instead of what their actual partner says. And guys, we shouldn't be doing that.
No. Thank you. I agree. But the other thing is that Jules said, regardless of how not smoothly the physical stuff is going, she likes the attention. So she's going to keep it moving. Listen, if all these lies were floating around and all this confusion and not being able to speak to someone directly, I think I would walk away from it. But at the same time, she is the loneliest person in the Hamptons. And so I understand why she is going to give Jordan a try, but I don't trust him. But I guess we will see what happens in the next episodes. All right. So we've got our casual triangle back together of Hannah, Luke, Armand. Now the episode starts with Hannah telling everybody that Luke asked her on a date and she said yes, but she was playing the he's obsessed with me card. It's annoying. But really it comes out that she just felt guilty for saying yes to a date with him while she's in this other situation with Armand. And so she's telling her girls one thing, kind of the same thing. So I guess I was addressing you about the guy version of that, but that is also the girl version. You're trying to, or the anybody version, I guess. You're trying to push something away to not talk about it, but you end up talking about it anyway because you're stuck. You don't know what to do.
When it comes to casual love triangles, that's just a difficult thing to assess because if you're interested in one person and then again you don't want to hurt another person's feelings, it's kind of that's just bad karma right there because one, you're already talking to someone. Two, you introduce to another person and you're trying to juggle to see your options, which is fine. You can always see what your options are. But if you're saying, oh, you like one guy and you like another guy and you don't want to hurt both of their feelings, you're kind of stuck in the mess right there.
I mean, could not have said it better myself. That's so true. So she continues to talk about, she feels bad about saying yes to Luke, but it's obvious that Luke just likes her so much and he hasn't done anything wrong. But we find out what Armand has done wrong. He has told Lindsay that it's just casual between him and Hannah. Now, Hannah did not know this until she was on her paddleboarding excursion with the other girls. So when she found out, she was actually hurt. She felt pain because she realized, hey, that's mean. That's not nice to learn that you're casual when you didn't think you were. But also she has this whole universe with this other person happening and she doesn't know what to do. What would you do, Josh, if you had two casuals? One was nice to you. One's not that nice to you. Who do you choose?
Obviously, I gotta go with the nice one. I don't play with mean people here. Mean
No.
people are never nice, and especially if it's a casual hookup, you do not want to be friends with the mean person. Stick with the nice one. This is what producer Josh says.
There you go. So we haven't found out where she's going with this yet. We can assume and hope and pray that she's going to choose Luke. Let Armand go. It doesn't seem to matter very much, but clearly it matters to her. So, and Luke keeps getting denied. He ended up saying, fine, I'll sleep with my goldfish. And that was really sad because Luke truly is the only nice guy in the house through and through. The other guys, they have little instances of niceties happening, but Luke isn't letting anybody down. He's just trying to hang. So, in the end, Hannah put herself in her own bed. Luke slept with the goldfish, and we'll see what happens to them next week. I'm hoping for a complete revamp. Hannah back at it with Luke. Armand, you don't exist, but we'll see if I get what I want. So, to the final relationship that was the craziest part of this episode, for sure. The back and forth between Carl and Lindsay. What is going on? We've had Carl. Josh, you remember the date with the plastic on the rooftop?
Oh, yeah, definitely do.
We're starting out basically like that. Carl has come into this relationship and now he wants to end it. He wants nothing to do with Lindsay, but they're riding to the Hamptons together. He keeps kissing her on the cheek or all over the place, and he keeps going to her first, but telling everybody else he tried to break it off. Let me tell you something about trying to break something off. Unless you say, I do not want to see you anymore, this is over, you have not tried to break anything off. You can't just go to the opposite side of the room and then just say, oh, I broke it off. Am I right, Josh?
Totally right. I mean, listen, it was over before it even started. I mean, who brings Postmates to a first date? Come on.
That's on the other person's rooftop. You didn't even plan it.
And let's talk about the other person. She was dressed up pretty nice.
She was.
And he came in super casual, like if nothing was happening. I mean, come on. That's dead on arrival right there. I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's how this whole thing started. And now he's trying to do takebacks, and he ends up going to do a workout. And he goes with Lindsay and a couple of the other guys. And he asks out the trainer there when she's in the same vicinity. He doesn't even think about her. And Kyle egged him on to do it. I could not believe that he had the cojones to do that. I don't know why you wouldn't just at least get someone's number, ask them later. Thoughts, Josh?
I mean, at this point, he's not thinking with his brain. He's thinking with another organ, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
And unfortunately, if he has literally the cojones to ask somebody else while on a date with somebody else, that's just not cool. I mean, do that on your own time. But if you're with another person, if you're with someone that you say that you're still in love with, no go. Not cool.
Exactly. Like Carl's pretending that he's never told Lindsay that he liked her at all. He's making up this side story of what he wanted to happen but doesn't exist. So he asks her on this date. The trainer says yes, she's so down, and then he flirts with her the rest of the time when Lindsay's just looking. And Lindsay is way more classy than I would have been in that scenario, because I would have been like, hello, what are you doing? You're making me look like an idiot. You look like an idiot. What is going on? I do not understand. But that's not what she did. She let it go. And then they went out. And then he went to his own bed. She tried to get in it, and he denied her.
I mean, Lindsay's got to find someone better than Carl. I mean, Carl, come on, man. You're messing up, bro, Carl. I mean, listen, my thought right now is what's he going to Postmate for the date with the trainer? Obviously something healthy, I would imagine, but still, no go. No go. Lindsay, you can do better, girl.
Such a fair point. Like, what's that date going to look like? It's everything that he does, especially so far in the season. We've had so many flashbacks. He does the same moves. So you're so right. He's going to pull the same stuff. So he goes on and finally he decides to tell Lindsay, I don't want to do this. But he did it so indirectly. And the worst thing that he said was, I just wanted to see what it was like for them to be together. They're best friends. I just want to see what it was like. And the second he said that, Lindsay popped off, and she should have, because he doesn't make any sense at all.
Like, at this point, what does he think this is? A test trial? This is a trial version that's 2 weeks up, and it's just like, oh, I didn't like this. I'm not going to buy it. Let's go to another test trial. Not going to happen, buddy.
No, it's like not only is it just straight up not nice, but it's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. You don't just trial run things. You don't just see what things are like unless someone mutually says, you want to just like spend a week and see what things are like? But that's not what happened. They were having feelings for each other. It was vocalized, and he was neglecting to remember what he vocalized. So we'll see how this goes. He keeps saying, I just want to be friends. I want to be friends again, because they were best friends before. I don't think that they can do that. And I don't think Lindsay should do that to herself, because it's just a bunch of reminders of everything that went down. What do you think? Would you be someone's best friend again after that?
I think so. Not necessarily. Because it depends, I guess, on the situation. Obviously, there are a lot of people out in the real world who have dated and then not necessarily works out, but they do remain great friends. So maybe, I guess it depends on the situation. My personal thing, if we ended up pretty much on a level, everything's good, no drama and everything, sure, why not friends? But if it's one thing where it's just like I had feelings for one person and she didn't have those feelings back, not gonna happen. It's just one of those things where you just don't want to relive those type of pain anymore.
I mean, this whole thing has been drama. Even their friendship is drama. She knows all the drama. And so, this is a very 50-50 situation. She knew who she was getting involved with. But at the same time, you expect it to be different, because I think when we have friends, no matter, gender, whatever it is, sexual orientation, it doesn't matter. When you have friends, the way that they treat you as their friend is very different than what they treat their significant other as. Whether that be better or worse, it depends on the person. So I think that she thought she was going to get her friend Carl, but obviously from all of his, messing around, that's not what she got. So it was really sad. I don't think that I would be best friends. I think even the words best friends between the two of them, it makes me like cringe and sad for her. So
I think at that point it's just safe to call them acquaintances rather than friends.
Yeah.
Maybe just someone that just like, well, that's somebody that I, had a little thing with, not really significant in any way.
Yeah, I agree. But we'll see what happens. So we've got some good news though this week for Summer House. Yes, the
TV news.
So Lauren Workus, former Summer housemate, has gotten engaged to her boyfriend, Ryan. This is great news, guys. That means there can be love after the Summer House. I hope that all of these people that we discussed find that out tonight. Look how cute they are. They're so happy. That's where they proposed. It's on the beach. It's so good. Oh gosh, it's so good. So congratulations, Lauren and Ryan, on your engagement. We hope that everything goes way better than what's happening on this show. So let's get into a little special time of the show and talk about who we think is the most wild partnership on this show so far.
Don't mind if I do.
That's literally exactly how I feel. Thank you, Josh. That's exactly how I feel. Thank you so much.
When it comes to drama and everything like that, I think that's how we all feel.
Such high drama. I could go on forever about how wild these people actually are, but what they do to each other is so insane. And I think I've got to give it to Carl and Lindsay because they have two different relationships. They've got their friendship, and they've got their romance, whatever you want to call it. And they have done each other wrong in both ways. Completely this whole time. When they were just friends, it was perfect, 100%. But now all of the betrayal within both, betrayal is maybe a strong word. That's how I feel, that it's a friend betrayal, therefore it's a love betrayal, therefore no go. I think they're 100% the wildest part of this show. And I hope that something happens where they have like a come to whatever moment with each other and make amends to try to chill out because, you know, there's future after the summer house, and I hope that it's a happy one for them. So let's get into predictions with what's going to happen
Your
next week.
TV predictions.
Yes. And maybe the rest of the season. So I am really, really hoping that Amanda and Kyle stay on this road to improving their relationship, because before this episode, they had no hope. If I would talk about this show, I would say, no, they're not going to get married. And if they do, it'll be an annulment and it'll end very quickly because they were just not nice to each other. They're being so mean to each other. They hate each other. But now I think they've found an avenue of communication, especially understanding that, you know, Amanda has some mental health issues that she's trying to deal with and that she had a hard time opening up. So I'm hoping that they just stay on a great path. I really, really, really want Hannah and Luke to be together. I want Armand to leave the picture. So I hope that I get that. Oh, what else do I want? Oh, I want Jordan to leave the summer house at the end of this summer without telling any more lies. That's what I want. I want to not be so confused by his existence. What do you think about that, Josh?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, enough with the BS.
Yeah.
Just come clean.
Exactly. We are over it. Well, guys, that is it for our after show for Summer House Season 4, Episode 5, Hampton's Vice. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at HeyTrinaDong. Please, please continue to tune into our show. Find out all the craziness that's going to happen next week and beyond. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.